Today I'm going to show you how to paint some very detailed watercolour sand just by using two simple techniques. So let's get the brushes wet and let's get started. If you want to paint detailed sand, you need to have a background first of all. I'm going to go for a little bit raw umber. Go for that one. I'm using a size 20 brush, quite a large brush for me. Just put a basic background on there. So anything will do. Straight onto the paper. You can leave a few gaps in between as well. A little bit of raw umber. There you go, look at that. Then maybe just a little bit of raw sienna. That one there. Just to warm it slightly more. I know. And I may even go for a little bit of burnt sienna as well. Just to add a variety of colours within there as well. And that is all we need to work on for the sand. Something as simple as that. I know. Doesn't take much doing, does it? It really doesn't. Just wash that down the bottom. Right, let's give it a quick dry and I'll show you how to paint some very detailed sand over the top. All I'm looking for really is more of a sort of sandy shingle, pebble sort of beach. Nothing too smooth. What you'll need is a stiff bristle brush. Anything that you use for oil painting. Look at this one, I know. This is a really cheap one. But anything like that will do. This is like from a pound shop. Really dirt cheap. Anything with stiff bristles like these here, look. In fact, I'm going to use my old lining finish, which is that one there. I'm going to use that for the splattering technique. So I'm going to start off with the raw umber first of all. Dip that one in there. And then very lightly, with your finger, it's very messy, start to splatter that sand. Now, the more you load this brush up, the larger the splatter marks will be. So if I really load that up like that, you find your blobs will come off quite large. See that? That's a difference straight away. So if you want your dots to be very small, very fine, don't load it too much. So what you can do is load it, give it a wipe or two on the side like that, get some kitchen roll, give it a couple of taps, 2 or 3 taps, then lightly splatter, and then you'll find that the marks now are very fine indeed, as you can see. Look how fine that is round there. That's how fine you can get with this method. Now the idea with this is that you need to start gradually building up the details using the splattering technique. The further away it goes towards the shoreline, the sea, and then beyond, you want these little splatter marks to be smaller, so less defined. So increase the amount of splatter marks towards the foreground and lessen them the further away that you go. And that will give you a feeling of distance eventually. What I suggest you do, don't do it this way round. Because you're working horizontally, use this technique in a horizontal way. See what I mean? So I'm just very lightly splattering as I go. Without touching the paper, don't touch it. Otherwise you'll smudge all of that work. And this is just one colour at the moment. If you find that some of these dots are a little bit too much, you can very lightly smudge them with your finger. Don't make them too defined. Or you can get another brush, anything will do, lightly dampened, and just give those a little bit of a tickle to soften those back. Get a few little blemishes on the paper, but that's okay, that all adds to it as well. Let's go for another colour. This is the raw sienna. I'll do the same again with that colour. Gradually building up the detail as you go along, keeping your brush level or horizontal with the paper, concentrating mostly towards the foreground. And just a few little, very light splats when there's hardly any paint left on the brush towards the distance, but not much. Okay, let's go for the burnt sienna now. Try that one. Half loaded, and do the same again. I need a darker colour, so I'm going to go for some of that burnt sienna in there, and some French ultramarine in there as well, but probably more on the brown side. And very lightly splatter again. So you're adding the darker marks now. I've started off really with a sort of a weaker wash, and the colours have thickened a little bit over time, but not by much. But because you're adding numerous layers onto the paper, you find those numerous layers will start to look deeper and thicker and richer as well. Now look at the large splatters I've got here. There are ways to fix that. What you can do, wipe your finger off first of all. It's very messy indeed. Grab yourself a size 00 brush or anything small will do. You can very lightly dab and lift, just by tickling it with a damp clean brush. That one, I think I'm going to use that one in a bit. I'll show you why. And probably one or two of the other ones as well. I'm going to use this bit of a blob there and make that into a bit of a stone. Just working his way down. So a bit of a stone there, and you can add one or two more in there as well. Just to make them stand out. Just a touch more black in there. Lamp black, that's all I'm using in there. Just to darken towards the bottom. And the same on this one as well. I'll put a few odd ones here and there. Just to give an impression of stones. Make sure your stiff bristles brush is nice and dry, or nearly dry. And also clean, because I'm going to go for some white paint next. This is opaque white. And you can use white gouache or any watercolour based white. That'll do. You can use white acrylic if you want to as well, but you won't be able to take it off afterwards. Especially with acrylic paint being permanent. And this adds a few little highlights into that sand as well. And to be honest with you, you can use quite a lot of colours with this. You really can when you're working on this technique. So if you really want to add something like a bit of green in there, only a little bit though, not too much. Or add some darker splatters in there, you can do. But it all depends on the effect that you want when you're trying to achieve something like this. It's a very basic technique, but it can also be quite effective at times. It really can. In fact, my watercolour painting here of a little turn, just by using that splattering technique. So all you have to imagine now is some water above that. If I get a little bit of water right above this, like there, anything will do. This is all just for fun, don't forget. That's all I'm doing this for. Right up to the sand, to there. Get some, I don't know, cobalt blue. Add that in. So sky and sea, anything will do. And bring that down to that sand line. Bit of turquoise. That can go in there as well. And some French ultramarine, which is right at the top there. For the very top part of the sky here. And at the moment, the sky will blend into that horizon, but it doesn't matter. If you were doing this as a sea scene, you want to make sure that your sand is level to the water. Because if it's not, well, your water is going to simply drip out the corner of the paper, isn't it? I know, you don't want that to happen now. Not really. Now let's very quickly put a sky and some sea over the top of that. Now if you do want to see more paintings just like this one, click on that subscribe button down below and also that like button as well. Every like and subscribe goes a long way to help my channel grow here on YouTube. So just as that one little thank you, just do those two little things and you've got a virtual thank you just from me. A few little grass blades in one corner, and this will give you some ideas. A piece of card, there we go, like that, and then like that. The way it would look if you framed it. There you go. So that's a very basic painting on how to paint detailed sand by just using that splattering technique and an old stiff bristle brush, something like that. Now if you do fancy learning how to paint a seascape, just literally see, have a look at that video to the top right hand corner of the screen. I'll see you there.